But the thing that concerns me is how select communities respond especially badly to anybody who disagrees with what their preferred creator says. And like I said earlier, unfortunately, those communities often, from what I've seen, surround Caroline, Cassey, Chloe, Ting, and a few other names previously mentioned. It's been a few days since I released the last video, and I'm still thinking about how 10 out of 10 that choice of headwear was. Because I don't know about you, I actually thought it kind of suited me a bit. I was kind of reliving my Dragon Ball Z fantasy days, and I kind of think that I might grow my hair out, go to my barbers and say, look, let's get wild with it. So the video today is going to be slightly different and wasn't actually planned. I think it's very much a topic that needs to be discussed, and it's been on my list for quite some time, but I hadn't really had like a mass desire to film this video until recently, where I started noticing more of a trend, and I felt like, you know what, this needs to be addressed because it's becoming quite an obvious occurrence in the fitness industry, especially on the line, on social media, and I think something needs to be said about it. Before I kind of spill the beans and tell you what's occurring, you know what must be done, and we're about to do the thing that we're gonna do that we usually do, yes. If at any point you decide you like the video, please let me know you like the video by dropping a like on the video. 1,300 likes in the first 24 hours is the goal, and to be honest, the last couple of videos have not been looking too spicy, so we're gonna have to bump that up a bit, you know. In addition to that, if you haven't already, please do consider clicking the red button down below to subscribe to the channel, and maybe even the bell next to it to get notified when I upload every week, twice a week. And if you have a question you want me to answer at the end of the next video, please do drop it down below in the comment section with a comment question of the week, and I shall do so. Headpiece today is going to be hot, it's going to be sweaty, and it's not going to be particularly spicy because it's a bloody warm day today. I did tell you it was going to be a good one today, and I think it's a good one. I'm going to be straight with you. A few things have occurred in my life that have really made me appreciate others more than I ever did before. Firstly, I told you, you know what, I felt a bit spicy, I felt a bit bored. I was like, you know what, let's go for it. I shaved my armpits and my legs, and you've already heard the story, it was a bit of a shambles. But it took so long. I mean, when I say long, I mean hours, as in multiple hours it took me to do everything. It was a shambles. And then I came away from it thinking, wow, I never want to do that again. But some people do that regularly. Like, if you shave your armpits, your legs, anything regularly, I respect you, because my lord, I was sweating, I was panting, I had DOMS the next day. I thought I was going to have to take a rest day. It was a shambles. It took me hours. I nearly missed a meal, it was that long. On top of that, long hair is a nightmare. I was just thinking as I tried to put it on, I was trying to flick over my head, I was like, how do people do this regularly? If you've got long hair, I respect you, because it's in my eyes right now. It's actually annoying me a little bit. It's really hot. Is your hair hot? Or is it because it's wig? I don't know. I've never had a really, really long hair. That being said, I kind of did have quite long hair when I was younger. Another story. But I feel like if Spice Girls ever made a comeback, I'd probably wear this to their concert. Crazy. We've been on a roller coaster together, we really have. The video. Obviously pretty obvious from the title of the video, and you're thinking, inclusion of some names in there. I wonder why that might be. Essentially what we're going to talk about, it's not going to be a particularly long video, he says, but it's something, like I said, I've been wanting to address for quite some time. It's something I feel like I need to address because it's something I'm just seeing pop up everywhere. I just want to clarify a few things, and I want to verbalise my thoughts and opinions, and also kind of make a request. Obviously, a lot of my content is revolving around fitness, clearly. It's primarily a fitness channel with like elements of psychology in there, like mental health, things along those lines. We love to see it. And a lot of that content is quite commentary based, so I analyse and give my opinion on maybe things that other creators have posted, their workouts, their tips, whatever it may be, and then also give my opinion on other things such as topics like this, etc, etc. As I stated at the start of my videos in the disclaimer, it is merely my opinion. Whether you align with my opinion or not is completely up to you. It is just an opinion. If you disagree with my opinion, fantastic, I'd love to hear why. If you agree with my opinion, fantastic, I'd love to know where we aligned. Like things like that, I want to promote the discussion. Because ultimately, I'm doing this because I really like fitness. It's probably the first passion in my life I've ever really had, and it's something that means a lot to me. Fitness has enhanced my life massively. It's helped me massively, especially when looking at my mental health and other things along those lines. It's also allowed me to create a platform like TFNL where I can interact with and potentially help literally tens of thousands of people, which is something I've always wanted to do and something I never thought I would be able to do. So for that, I am eternally grateful. And I go in the comment section, and 99.9999% of you have never even met me. Although I really hope that one day I meet as many of you as possible, and I will try to, it's such a privilege to be in a position where, despite having never met, you trust what I have to say, and you invest your time into my content, which I think is fantastic. It is just genuinely, like, it feels quite surreal. I upload a video and thousands of people will see that video and actually listen to what I have to say, which is just unreal. As TFNL grows, I actively put more and more effort into researching and updating my knowledge so I can provide you with updated information, new information, or just more information in general that you can apply to your workouts, whatever it may be. Sometimes when I create videos about certain individuals, but a lot of times their fans, their supporters, their followers, their community are really receptive and actually really kind. And it's great. And a lot of times they transition over and say, you know what, I really like this person, but I actually really like what you had to say, so I'm going to support you as well. Fantastic, I love to see it. Other times it's the other end of the spectrum, and that's kind of where this video is going. There are a few creators when I've done videos on them and discussed them where their community have not responded very positively at all, and actually in fact quite negatively. And those communities tend to be the communities that follow Caroline, obviously as featured in the title, Cassey, so Blogilates, Chloe Ting is another big one, Brett Contreras in some cases, and even Erin Stern, where I've done videos where I don't necessarily agree with something they've said or something they've done, and their community have just gone on the attack. And although I've seen comments about this, quite a few of you have actually messaged me saying that you're almost in disbelief that their community who are supporting a creator can be so negative and, for lack of a better terms, in some cases toxic towards somebody who, despite whether I support them or not or engage in their content, doesn't necessarily agree with everything they're doing. Prime example is I did a video on Caroline where I spoke about her 100 reps and all those bits and bobs, where for the most part I said I'm a big fan of Caroline's content, especially when considering like where she's in the home workout scene and what she does for people when they are training at home. I said a couple of things in the video where I spoke about how you could improve RDLs, which some people love, other people got really angry at me for correcting her form, and I spoke about how personally for when considering like hypertrophy and other things like that, I probably wouldn't do 100 reps of anything. Maybe it's more extreme muscular endurance side of things, but again, 100 reps of anything, time and a place, but that time and place is quite limited. What a shambles that was, because that caused a bloody ruckus, I would say. And the thing is, a lot of people see the title of the videos, and a lot of these videos are titled in a manner that is obviously going to encourage views and clicks to hopefully appeal to a wider audience, and in an ideal world help a wider audience too, and bring them into the communities that can hopefully enhance their training, their lifestyle, and just their approach to fitness and mental health. A lot of these communities will see the title and just suddenly be like, you know what, that's a no-go. You're attacking my favourite creator, and how dare you assume that somebody else's sport could ever be wrong. That's a lot of thing where a lot of these communities fail to acknowledge that creators can be wrong. And despite whether they are right or wrong, other creators can have other opinions. There are many approaches to fitness, although there's an approach that some would deem to be optimal, there are many approaches. I follow certain individuals, like for example Ryan Dewars, Dr. Mike Israetel, Paul Carter, and in some cases all three of those people disagree with each other on like maybe a certain topic and can all support their disagreement or agreements with evidence of research. But who's right? Research aligns with all of them, but also research disagrees with them, but who is right? Which opinion do I align best with, and which supporting evidence has convinced me enough to believe it? And which method have I maybe tried myself and has actually worked for me and other people? Creators can disagree with each other, and your favourite creator might well and can be wrong in some cases. And just because they are is not a negative hit towards them, because we are human. We make mistakes, and unfortunately with fitness there is not one size fits all. There are so many ways to approach things and so many counter arguments that are supported by research. And this is actually really first noticed in my first Chloe Ting video, which in fairness I don't think was a very good video. I think I've since removed it because I wasn't very happy with it, to be honest. I didn't like how I approached it. I've since updated it and I'm much happier with the updated version. But the go-to attack was, well, it worked for me so you must be wrong. In all honesty, you've got to consider a lot of things. If you feel like it's worked for you because you've lost weight, ultimately are you eating less and moving more? In theory, nearly anything would work for you in that case, but I'm glad that it has worked for you, and if it works for you, you should continue doing it if you can actually stick to it. As I say all the time, the best diet or training approach, whatever it may be, for you is the one that you can remain most consistent with. And if one content creator does one thing, another does the other, but you just prefer the content of a single creator, and you can stick to their workouts, you know what, you do their workouts. Despite whether I agree with them or disagree with them, if you can stick to them, you enjoy them, and they help you achieve your results, I fully support you going for it and embarking on that journey with them. This hair is really getting in my way, I'll tell you that. I'm a big fan of the colour because in all honesty I do quite like pink. going to be straight with you, I think it's a pretty solid colour, but the hair it needs a brush, I think. I really struggle to understand this, and maybe this is my shortcoming, and maybe this is my fault, but I really struggle to understand how some people get so emotionally invested into a creator and their content that if anyone does disagree with them, they feel it warrants a personal attack. And this has been the case in many situations from my videos where, for example, I spoke about Erin Stern in a video. The go-to was, you know what, this person is disagreeing with what Erin is doing, therefore I'm going to attack their personal appearance. I'm going to actually attack them as a person, not their content, but I'm going to attack them as a person. But why is that acceptable? We live in a world where, although mental health is still heavily stigmatised, it's becoming more accepted and more discussed, which is fantastic. And we also live in a world where a lot of these people, if their favourite creator came out and said, no, I'm really struggling with the abuse I get online and the hate I get online and the negative comments I get online, these individuals in their community would say, you know what, that's horrible. How could anyone do that to someone? It's not your body, not your choice. Don't present your opinion on that body, but would happily present that opinion on someone else's body if it's not their favourite creators. A lot of double standards, and in all honesty, although it does not affect me personally, to be honest, in many cases I actually find some of the comments quite funny, I fully understand and worry about how it could impact others if they were to attack others in a similar manner. And that's not what I want to see. If I were, let's say, Caroline, and I saw some of the comments that some of her fan base were leaving on my videos of her that I have done in the past, I would be really disappointed and ashamed. I really would be. I would never ever even consider encouraging my supporters or my community to negatively bash anybody else. And luckily I'm in a position where I feel like the TFNL community would never do such things. I feel like if you're watching this video and you're part of the TFNL community, I bloody well adore you. I understand that you are here because we align on a certain level, maybe emotionally, due to our goals, whatever it may be, but I also understand you're here because you care about other people. I don't imagine anyone here would ever even consider negatively impacting the mental health of another creator by making rude or harmful comments because they've disagreed with something I've said. And that is my request, because obviously as the TFNL community grows, more and more people are going to watch the videos. Fantastic, I love to see it. But some people may in fact disagree with what I have to say, which is absolutely fine. I welcome the discussion. But if somebody does disagree with what I have to say, I really hope and I request that no one ever go after them or attack them or even consider commenting negatively on them, but merely acknowledging their opinion and maybe even presenting it to me so I can acknowledge it and understand. Because at the end of the day, most of us want similar things, which is we want to enhance the lives of those who consume our content and provide some kind of benefit to whoever is, like I said, consuming this content, and also having some kind of purpose in the online space. And like I said, there is no one size fits all, but you can take bits from certain people. I may say one thing, you say actually I quite align with that, so I'm going to take that. But Caroline says this, but I actually align with that, so I'm going to take that as well. But Cassey maybe says this, so I'm going to take some of that as well. You can take bits from everybody. Nothing of what we say is ever gospel. But the thing that concerns me is how select communities respond especially badly to anybody who disagrees with what their preferred creator says. And like I said earlier, unfortunately, those communities often, from what I've seen, surround Caroline, Cassey, Chloe, Ting, and a few other names previously mentioned. But I would say those are probably the big three where I've really seen most of the backlash. And again, I have no issue with the backlash. What I do have an issue with is people's inability to understand and comprehend that whoever you're watching can be wrong, and whoever you're watching can be disagreed with despite whether they're wrong and maybe there's just a difference in opinion. I also fail to comprehend how it's ever acceptable to try and negatively impact or actually insult somebody else who doesn't align with what your creator is promoting. Although I respect how much you care for your favourite creator, I think it's very admirable. I think that level of emotional investment where you are now willing to try and harm somebody else who doesn't align with what they're saying, despite whether they actually as a whole enjoy that creator themselves and respect that creator themselves, is a concern. And that's something that I feel like is too heavily accepted in the industry. I also feel like it's something that's almost too normalised within the industry. That's the other thing, is a lot of people will comment based on titles alone and not actually watch the video. I've had many a comment where someone says, well, I disagree because this and this. I'm like, well, I actually said exactly what you've just said a few minutes into the video, which highlights to me that you didn't actually watch the video and base your opinion off the title alone. It is probably worth watching the video to ensure that whatever you're going to comment hasn't already been addressed later on. So at the end of the day, fitness is here to enhance all of our lives. It's not here to hinder it. So why is it acceptable for you to try and hinder the lives of others when they're trying to enhance your life? Again, I know I've gone off on a bit of a rant, but I felt like I really need to say something about it. I didn't want to make this video too long because it's just is something that's going to be lingering in my mind for a while. But the kind of idea of toxic fitness communities unfortunately very much does exist in this world. And although what I'm saying doesn't apply to 99.9% of the people watching this video, there is a 0.1% of people that it might apply to. And if you feel like it does potentially apply to you, it's worth considering how could you do better. And I think that's something we all need to consider at times, is as humans, as people, as creators, whatever it may be, how can we do better? Spreading negativity and forcing hatred down people's throats serves no purpose in life. If anything, it actually takes away from ourselves. So why, despite agreements or disagreements, why not promote positivity? Constructive criticism. Those are just my thoughts and opinions I just wanted to cover quickly. Like a few communities in particular, and I would say, for lack of a better term, fan bases in particular, where I've really noticed this and been quite concerned by the behaviours of this particular group, or some of this group, not everyone. It does not apply to everybody. It's, like I said, a small portion of a large group. Now my ramble is done. We must obviously crack on with comment question of the week. It's a bit of an interesting one because it's something that kind of gets brought up here and there quite a bit. What's the deal with Pilates? The fans of Pilates insist that it will magically transform your body. Meanwhile, the muscle bros insist that it only does something for you if you're recovering from severe injuries. So is it worthwhile or nah? I think ultimately nothing will magically transform your body. There is no magic fix, there's no magic pill, none of that stuff. It's a journey, it's something we work towards and build towards over a period of time. My thoughts on Pilates, which actually gets asked quite a lot, if it helps you achieve your goals and aligns with your goals, then I fully support you doing it. And a few people commented saying, you know what, it can be used in addition to other things as like almost like an additional tool in the arsenal perhaps. I think why not? I always say, if you can't justify why you're doing something, you probably shouldn't be doing it. But if you turn around and say, you know, I actually really just enjoy Pilates, that's a fantastic justification right there, and that's more than enough reason to do it. But that is it. That is a video. Like I said at the start of the video, if you like the video, please let me know you like the video by dropping a like on the video. 1,300 likes in the first 24 hours is the goal, so if we could reach that, that'd be bloody exquisite. I would very much appreciate it. If you haven't already, please do consider clicking the red button down below and subscribing to the channel, and maybe even the bell next to it so you get notified when I upload every week, twice a week. And if you too have a question you want me to answer at the end of the next video, please do consider dropping it down below in the comment section for comment question of the week, and I shall answer it at the end of the next video. Thank you for tolerating me. Thank you for tolerating my "It's Not a Phase Mum" wig, which I'm going to clarify, it was never a phase, and this wig is bloody splendid. And thank you for tolerating the video.